Today, I'm about to reveal the one meal that's not only enhances your erections, but also safe for your heart. It has the power to cleanse your arteries, normalize your blood pressure, and reverse the very damage caused by modern dietary guidelines. And the secret? It's not hiding in a cereal box. I'm Dr. Georgia, and in this video, we're diving deep into the truth that most doctors won't tell you. Truth backed by research, physiology, and real results. So don't scroll, don't click away, because what you'll learn in the next few minutes can change the course of your heart health for life. And you know, if your heart is healthy, that means your blood flow is better, and if the blood flow is better, that means your erections are better. So let's get started. When we talk about heart health, the conversation is too often dominated by what not to eat. Avoid fats, they say. Cut cholesterol. We've been told that a low-fat, grain-rich diet is the gold standard for cardiovascular wellness. But what if everything you've heard so far only scratches the surface, or worse, points you in the wrong direction altogether? Today, let's flip the script. Let's discuss what you should actually eat to support the natural health and integrity of your arteries. I'll walk you through a meal, yes, a simple meal, that harnesses the latest in nutritional science, metabolic research, and cardiovascular medicine. And this might surprise you. It's not shy about ingredients most conventionally trained doctors would have told you to avoid just a decade ago. To understand how to nourish your arteries, especially penile arteries, properly, we need to begin at the cellular level. Inside every blood vessel lies a delicate, highly dynamic structure known as the endothelial layer. This layer forms the inner lining of our arteries and veins. It's not just structural, it's a metabolic powerhouse. It regulates blood pressure, contributes to the immune response, prevents clot formation, and even controls the selective passage of substances into tissues. Interestingly, it has a unique feature. Its primary energy source is glucose. Now, before you reach for that cookie or that whole grain cereal bar, let me be clear. Your body doesn't require dietary glucose to fuel the endothelium. Through a process called gluconeogenesis, your liver and kidneys can generate all the glucose your cells need, even if you consume zero sugar. So, fueling this layer doesn't require high-carb meals, quite the opposite, right? Here's where things take a dark turn for much of the modern population. Insulin resistance. When the cells of the body, including those in the arteries, stop responding effectively to insulin, two major issues emerge. First, glucose can't get into the cells efficiently. Second, the insulin levels rise to compensate, leading to a cascade of metabolic disruptions. Over 65% of adults today show signs of some degree of insulin resistance, even if they appear lean. What causes this? Chronically elevated carbohydrate intake, particularly refined carbs, and frequent snacking, which keep insulin levels perpetually elevated. This constant stimulus overloads the system and desensitizes the insulin receptors. The body's beautiful metabolic orchestra becomes chaotic, and one of the earliest casualties is the health of the endothelial lining. Now, shifting toward repair and prevention, let's talk about a molecule you want working for you. Nitric oxide, a vasodilator, meaning it helps your blood vessels relax. Healthy production of nitric oxide keeps your blood pressure in check and your arteries supple. But it diminishes with age, stress, poor diet, and lack of sunlight. Interestingly, vitamin D is a major player here. Beyond its known role in bone health, vitamin D significantly improves nitric oxide production, directly benefiting endothelial function. This is why individuals deficient in vitamin D often struggle with hypertension. More compellingly, over 50% of people in industrialized nations have suboptimal vitamin D levels due to indoor lifestyles and sunscreen overuse. Another nitric oxide enhancer, L-arginine, an amino acid found in high-quality proteins. You've probably seen it as a supplement marketed for enhancing erections, boosting blood flow, heart health, and athletic performance. And with good reason. Arginine promotes greater nitric oxide synthesis, which relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. Testosterone also supports nitric oxide, but modern environmental exposures, especially endocrine disruptors like those found in plastics, particularly phthalates and bisphenol A, are driving testosterone levels into the ground. And then there's magnesium, a mineral we often overlook, but one that's absolutely vital. Most people are deficient, thanks to depleted soil and highly processed diets. Magnesium not only enhances nitric oxide, it combats vascular calcification and lowers stress by suppressing cortisol. Remember, cortisol raises blood pressure. Pair magnesium with vitamin K2, and you have a formidable duo against arterial calcification, redirecting calcium away from arteries and toward where it belongs, your bones. So, knowing all this, what would an optimal artery cleansing meal actually look like? Here's the shocker. It's not oatmeal. It's not bran flakes with low-fat milk. And it's definitely not whole grain toast with seed oils. Many of these heart-healthy choices, stamped and certified by organizations like the American Heart Association, are misleading. To display their label, foods simply need to contain 50% whole grains, even if the remaining 50% is refined starch, sugar, or inflammatory oils. We've been chasing a broken model, and judging by the rising rates of cardiovascular disease, it's clearly not working. Instead, the best way forward is a low-carbohydrate, insulin-sensitive eating paradigm. In other words, a ketogenic approach. By switching from glucose to ketones for energy, we bypass insulin resistance entirely and feed the endothelial cells efficiently through alternate pathways. Let's build our meal on this principle. The centerpiece: high-quality, grass-fed red meat. Yes, you heard that correctly. Rich in highly bioavailable protein, zinc, iron, and B vitamins, especially B12, red meat, provides the very building blocks that maintain and repair muscle. Your heart, after all, is a highly active muscle. Contrary to popular belief, moderate consumption of properly sourced red meat has never been definitively linked to higher heart disease risk. In fact, the processing, not the meat itself, is the actual villain. Next, top that with raw cheese, ideally from grass-fed sources. Raw cheeses are abundant in vitamin K2, a critical nutrient for moving calcium out of arteries and into bones. They also carry probiotics that support gut and immune health, both of which have implications for cardiovascular inflammation. For portioning, aim for 6 to 8 ounces. It's enough to stimulate muscle protein synthesis without overloading the system. Avoid replacing it with plant-based proteins like soy or pea protein isolates, which lack the full spectrum of amino acids and are often processed with chemicals. Then add a dark leafy salad led by arugula. Arugula, part of the cruciferous vegetable family, is naturally high in nitrates, which convert into nitric oxide in the body. It's also rich in vitamin C, vitamin E, and phytonutrients that combat oxidative stress. Sprinkle on some raw pumpkin seeds, a compact source of magnesium, zinc, and selenium. Just a handful can work wonders. Finally, cap all of this with one of the most essential non-food nutrients, vitamin D3. Because it's almost impossible to get sufficient vitamin D from diet alone, and unless you spend time under the summer sun with large amounts of skin exposed, you're likely deficient. During winter, or for those with limited outdoor exposure, I recommend supplementing daily with 10,000 international units of vitamin D3, ideally with vitamin K2, as they work synergistically. In summary, if you want to optimize your cardiovascular health, don't fear cholesterol, fat, or meat. Instead, focus on reducing insulin resistance, nourishing your endothelium, and supporting nitric oxide production with the right synergy of micronutrients. What you put on your plate has biochemical consequences, and this meal, a combination of grass-fed red meat, raw cheese, arugula, pumpkin seeds, and strong vitamin D support, forms a nutritional protocol your arteries will thank you for years to come. Remember, your arteries weren't meant to clog. Your blood pressure wasn't meant to skyrocket. And your body wasn't designed to run on sugar, processed food, and outdated advice. You were built for vitality, strength, and longevity. And the key lies not in prescriptions, but in the power of nutrient-dense, metabolic-friendly foods. So take what you've learned today and apply it. Shape your next meal with purpose. Reclaim control over your own sexual health with knowledge, not noise. If this message stirred something in you, share it. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. We're just getting started on this journey to evidence-based wellness. Stay informed, stay critical, stay healthy.